process there was for you?
The whole process, I just wanted to be smart with it. So what I did, I got the data from the coaches, and then I honestly, personally, I went back and watched my own film, like all the games, and I did my own self-evaluation on myself, and I was like, I could have done stuff better here, 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 here. So what the scouts were telling me, was matching up to what I watched, and as he be more consistent, run to the ball every play, which I wasn't doing, and I need to do that. Because people always see the sacks, TFLs, and stuff like that. Think, he's good enough, but there's a lot more to that in a game that they want that I didn't show. So I feel like this year is all about that.
Did your brother's experience have any impact on it at all?
No, but yes. The data I got back, it showed what it showed. So in my mind, I was like, I want to enter differently. I want to enter the NFL in a different way. So that was my whole thought process, really.
Obviously, the NFL is the ultimate goal for everybody to play.
Right.
But was there a fun element to it too? Because football here's fun, there it's a job.
No, I mean, either way, it's a job here and there, but obviously it's two different. That is a big business, is a strict business, but here, of course, like I thought of myself leaving. So beginning of my senior year, I wanted to leave. That was the whole deal. But then, things change, and of course, coming back, I'm having fun with my guys and having a great time during spring ball, joking, clowning each other, stuff like that. So that's just part of it. But of course, the NFL, you can do that, but it's a whole different. They can gone. So.
I got to ask you this: if there was an NIL, would you be back?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was all a matter of performance and not about.
Yeah, the NIL had nothing to do with it. Like zero, because either way, if I would have thought I would have done well, and I still had that COVID year, I feel like coming back was the best choice.
You're out there and you look next to you. He's not practicing this spring, but you got Mesidor, you got Taj, you got Jefferson. Right. There is a lot of pieces there on that D-line. Yeah. What can this D-line do, you think? A lot of pieces.
I feel like, seeing it would be better than saying it. We're very locked in to what we got to do. I feel like we are taking control of the defense, and we're putting the defense on our back. But at the same time, it's a team game. So like the D-line ain't gonna take over. We can take over the game, but it takes a whole defense. So yeah.
So outside of running,
Let me ask you this, Dante.
Go ahead, Bob.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I won't fight with you. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, if Josh announced before you made the decision that he was coming back.
Yeah.
Did that have anything to do with you deciding to come back too? I mean,
this is all personal. Like it had nothing to do with if some person stayed, they left, because it happens every year. People stay, people leave all the time. So the decision I make was based off of what I did on the field.
what was your mom's reaction when you decided?
Either way, like talking to my mom about it, my mom didn't care which way I did, because obviously the main goal is make it to the next level. But of course she loves that I came back so she can be here again, and stuff like that. So
besides running to the football, what areas are you concentrating on improving?
ball get off, and just making sure I'm doing my technique right, like and just playing. I'm playing smarter this year, like more than just like running around, because I'm at that point where I have to study the game, like just knowing where pieces go and where I need to go, where other players need to go, so I can learn all the positions on D-line instead of just mine. So this year, just based off the technique, being consistent the whole time, because like I said before, people see sacks making plays, but I feel I can do that way more than I did in the past 4 years. And this year, it's all about that. It's all about running to the ball, making more plays, and be consistent.
Dante, I know you're paying attention to what's going on in front of you, but behind you, you've got some taller, leaner guys, linebacker, safety. How does that help your defense?
It just makes us more versatile. I feel like a lot of guys are moving around, different positions, stuff like that. So that just helps us out even more. You see will linebackers playing spear. You see all types of crap. So I'm sorry to say crap, but yeah. So it's a bunch of just moving pieces that anywhere can be. Somebody could be somewhere at any time. So it's all about just them flying to the ball, making plays in the air. So.
Get better because I'm not really, in your mind, D-line ready for the NFL. Was there something about not having accomplished all that you
Yeah.
wanted, including the way the last
Yeah,
season ended?
I feel like West Virginia deserves a championship. Like that's just how I feel. Like I feel like because like I grew up here and I seen a lot of greats go through here, and stuff like that. And I want that. Like I want to have that feeling that like we are finally champions. And I feel like we haven't had that feeling in just as an organization in a while. And I feel like the way the last year ended, lost in the bowl game, and wasn't a great record. I feel like that this year is all about improving that.
Has that been the biggest frustration that the team hasn't won more since you've been here?
It's not because it's not frustrating. I mean, of course it's frustrating, but it's not something that like losing can happen to any team. Like especially in our league, I feel like it's all just it's all thrown up. So that's just our goal. It's just to win more games. Like that's what we want to do. In the weight room this off season, it showed we want to win more games. And then just I feel like everybody's overall thought process of what happened last year was just like that wasn't good enough. And me personally, I don't want that feeling again.
If you flip it around, there's probably 2 or 3 or 4 games where had you made a play, you would have won the game. It could have been a completely different season.
Yeah, like I feel like a lot of them games, especially like the big games like Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, like those games, it comes down to 5-6 plays game that can determine the whole game. Like I feel like there's a couple times where I could have stripped the ball out, especially Texas Tech. One of my sacks, I remember one of my sacks came around, I tackled him from behind, but I could have easily just pop the ball out and it's our ball. So just watching my film from last year, I'm like, I missed out on a lot that could have helped us win games. And I feel like this year's one.
It's easier, improves for you in the second year of an assistant coach. It seems like first year there's a little bit part of probably a feeling out process, learning what he wants. What gets easier? What gets better for you in year 2?
We're just more comfortable with each other. I feel like me and Coach Jackson, like we got closer over the last year and a half. I mean, just even with this spring ball, I feel like our whole mindset. Like I talked with him before a spring ball even started. I was like, I want to win the championship. Like I want that feeling of excitement, like back in this building and back in the organization. So I just feel like we're all on the same page. Like we goof off, have a good time, stuff like that. But it's all business.
Dante, so when you made your decision to come back, I mean, was it obviously it's your choice, but did you sit down with your brother, your mom, your dad? Did they all have a part in the conversation?
Yeah. So I had a meeting with my mom, my dad, and Coach Brown, and Jansen, the scouting person. So what we went over is projections and what this like notes that scouts say about me, stuff like that. So all that took in consideration. But at the end of the day, they wanted me to do what I wanted to do, which I feel like that was just like they trusted me no matter what you know what I'm saying. So I feel like just hearing the feedback and watching the film that I need to come back just to prove myself one more year.
You mentioned feedback. Is some of that already here, and does some of it surprise you a little bit?
Yeah. I don't want to say it surprised me because obviously at the next level, it's a whole different game. Like I said, like stats don't really matter to them. It's like how you play your position. So it's like there's a lot of things, my footwork, hands placement, just consistency, like shedding off blocks, very important, and a lot like I said, going back and watching my film, I didn't do that. There's some plays where I should have made it or I could have changed the game, and I didn't do that. And I feel like this year is a whole different story.
Dante, are you appreciative that you're getting good advice? Because these days it seems like a lot of guys are getting a lot of bad advice.
Yeah, I appreciate it a lot. Like I'm so thankful because I could have made the wrong decision and not be where I wanted in the draft. I mean, of course, like pro day, I feel like I would done great during pro day, combine, stuff like that. But I feel like just the film is what matters.
What are the coaches' impact, especially Coach Brown? Because obviously he wants you to come back, helps him and his team, but he also wants what's best for you. So how does the coach advise you as to what to do?
With Coach Brown, so I sat down with him. He showed me everything, and he told me do what's best for you. Like whatever you want to do, I'm all for it. If you want to leave, then that's okay. Like I'm fine with that. Like, but then if you want to stay, that's great. So a lot went through my mind. Like I was just sit there and not talk to people for a couple days, just because I just didn't want to. I wanted to be alone, just go over my own thoughts. So I made that decision, and I'm happy I did. For sure.
Some guys that you see in practice through 3 days that are jumping out at you, that's impressing you?
Lee, the linebacker, he's active. Yeah, he's very active. People that haven't really played him, I feel like Thornton, proven a lot. Sean Martin, and it really just it's all about confidence. Really, it's really because at that point I was a freshman, I was sophomore. I didn't really have a lot of confidence. I kind of just went off just my athletic ability and how big I was. And now I have full confidence in the world. And I tell them all the time, it's either you want to do it or it's just so. I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to say. Gosh.
I get what you're saying. I mean, it's experience.
Yeah, it's all about experience. Like all the young guys, DB stuff like that. I just tell them there's times where a ball's gonna be catched over your head. There's times where you're gonna get beat. There's times where you're not gonna have a good rep, and that just happens. That just happens as a football player. There's times where I'm out there doing. I got thrown on the ground a couple times. But that's just gonna happen as a football player. So I tell them just to stay relaxed and just be calm and just be in the moment. Really.
Who was it threw you on the ground?
No, it wasn't up here.
Okay.
Nah, it wasn't. It was in the game. So I was just I just told him it's always just next play.